You know what we say to each other? We need more data.
Yes, and that is...
In society, is there anything you would die for? And weird things that they do. So I've never seen anything I couldn't explain. Military to check it out. And if it's a threat from space, maybe the greatest task of all would be to protect Earth from aliens.
So this is a recurring sci-fi theme here, about external threats unifying fragmented civilizations. So you get the Federation, United Federation of Planets from Star Trek, the UNSC from Halo, the Systems Alliance from Mass Effect. You could kind of argue it's the Rebel Alliance from Star Wars, but that's a little bit different. But yeah, the point being that shared existential threats can suppress internal division. And there's historical examples of this too, not just talking sci-fi. So, but yeah, I don't disagree that a genuinely hostile extraterrestrial civilization would probably unify Earth almost instantly. Not out of enlightenment, but out of survival instinct. Now, the problem is, we're pretty low on the totem pole relative to any theoretical extraterrestrial civilization coming for us, and we would not stand a chance against threats like the Borg, the Covenant, the Reapers, or the Empire. And probably my favorite example of this is if you ever played the game Stellaris, and you look at a primitive civilization.
It's very likely you would be absolutely smashed. However, I am a
There, from the perspective of the advanced alien civilization, you just see...
It just was like, the mention of Stellaris, and then the next video I watch is Stellaris. I had to blend them together because it totally works. In fact, you could say it's perfectly balanced.
them as a teeny tiny speck, smaller than a speck, the speck of the solar system in Stellaris, as fragmented nation states on a single planet. And even the weakest units you start with at the beginning of the game would effortlessly conquer them. So, yeah. Our civilization isn't ready for that type of adversary.
So the thing that instead happens is you go to Civilization 6 and you end up just dealing with continents, and then it's more our scale.
In fact, in the 1980s, President Reagan, addressing the UN, said just that.
This is dangerous.
He said, here we are with all of our differences. He was still in the Cold War, by the way. With all of our differences, imagine how close we would be together if we had to fight a common enemy, such as an invader from space.
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize...
Universal threat. Okay, so...
I've been triggered. Hello, welcome. This is Simon Tracer, and this is another scientific philosophy idea think tank video. Because there are more than one kind of threat. We're going to be talking about a few of them today.
Yeah, Type 4 civilization, yeah, I don't think so.
How about Hurricane Katrina? How about the infrastructure systems that are designed so that when those kinds of problems happen, we're able to be ready for them? How about all the different viruses that may or may not have the ability, if we were to be preemptive enough, that we don't need to worry about what would happen with something random like COVID, but we know what's out there. We have the solution. If anything were to happen, we are so diligent that we could absolutely just safeguard everyone. But Let's get to the game, shall we? So when it comes down to it, COVID, I have said before, if it was a button, I wouldn't have pressed it. We can see that there's some people out there who might have pressed it. That's alarmist. That's crazy. That's some kind of freak idea that no one wants to consider as a possibility. Why would we ever push that button to get everyone cooperating? That's the answer. Again, I wouldn't have pushed that button. And I'm not saying that anyone actually pushed it. I'm just saying that if it was a button, it's not one I would have pushed. So then does that make me not a good leader for the free world? I guess the hard choice wasn't calculated. Now, I absolutely have no ability to say anything about stuff about how the world should be run as if I'm some person in the system capable of running any of it. So, what is it that I'm talking about here? What is the point? I mean, it's not like I'm in the Illuminati or anything, and we just have these things. Clearly not, because then I just wouldn't say anything. Why would I? That would be treason. So as a person, an individual, and just someone concerned? By bringing up these kinds of topics, I know full well that there could be some people who are like, well, clearly there must be something there. So it is possible that it could have been a button. Or something. I do not believe it was ever a button. Unlike in the movies with the zombies and everything, where, oh, they didn't just do it for this, like it wasn't just some accident of some virus or whatever, but there was a literal action forcing it to be broken, forcing it to be spread in Resident Evil. So all of that is to say that there is this idea in fiction where it could have been the government to do things. So of course I can speak openly to anyone who might have the idea that it might be possible that you could ever conceive the idea, push it, and just say, I wouldn't, because I've weighed the idea of what good it could possibly bring, and I think it's not worth it. I think it's absolutely not worth it. And so if that's the case, that it's not worth it, then why did these things happen? And they happened, obviously, because things are just out in the world, like mosquitoes or whatever else, and depending on how we handle them, there's this concerns and possibility of harm in malaria or whatever other stuff that can happen. The unifying threat could have been just as simply considered, what if it's a virus? What if it's a thing that we unify the world by making them do things for the sake of others, and hopefully a majority of them will, and it will work for some, and we will even lose many, but we will have made it possible for the majority of people to cooperate, work together, make something good. There's this softly worded expression of, well, that was not a button. That never could have been a button. No one's ever thinking, allow people to get sick to promote the goodness in everyone, so that they're forced to do for the sake of others whatever thing we need them to do, like maybe wash their hands, use a mask if they're sick, cover your mouth. But of course, I would not resort to pressing that button. I continue to think this, and I continue to proclaim this, and I continue to phrase it in that way of it could be, if it was ever a button, it should not be pressed. And that's treason. That's why I'm not here anymore. with the capacity of being in office, the capacity of doing things, whatever else. Not because that was never even possible in the first place. I'm just an individual sitting on my couch. No. Nothing. Completely nothing was possible, ever. Throughout the history of ever, there was never any possibility of any actual thing. Can't make the hard choices. Does that mean I'm evaluating whether or not to consider it valid to press that button? As if I were to ever be in charge of such a situation. Nuclear deterrent. The release of a virus. The handling of threats. The increase or decrease of taxes. What am I willing to do? I am only capable of so much thought. Towards these things. I speak almost as if I was a person in the administration, in the system, capable of making one of these buttons be even assembled, much less be able to be pressed. I'm nowhere near that important, or even in any system of functionality towards choice regarding any of this. Calculated choice. Where it always is come down to this one thing. What if someone needs me eventually to be capable of pressing the hard choice buttons? What would I be willing capable of doing. And then is my unwillingness to do certain actions just not enough mental, not the right ethics, not the right functionality? What the? How? What? Huh. I have no idea where I made a mistake in this. So we have to start from scratch. Of course, my philosophy is that I wouldn't even make the possibility of nuclear war. That's just stupid. There isn't any reason to fight for something like that because it just simply is not how do I put it? Never. Nuclear, I don't care what kind of conflicts you guys have. I think nuclear war is stupid. And anyone who considers nuclear war should be shot. Is that a little harsh? Is there literally no way that I could ever consider it? Think of this. There's an issue with some country or whatever. And clearly, it is impossible to think of a solution other than massive devastation. For whatever reason. There's a problem with that in my brain. It doesn't make sense that that could even exist. The scope isn't in my head. It doesn't fit. I end up realizing that I assumed I don't know what happened with the 4 to make it so that it didn't trigger, so I only saw 9292 and then that equals not 4. 4 is 4 and then 9292 is 9292. 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 two on the other side, but it at this point there's no evidence towards that, so I can't be sure. Well, if I were to avoid nuclear conflict, what kind of conflict would be possible in my brain? What is even a potential scenario in general that could ever happen? Pull back from the idea of war and simply think of a basic conflict. What kind of actions are validated in those scenarios? Comes to the idea of if someone trespasses, some places that you have the right to fire upon them to injure them or to kill them, to protect the family, to protect yourself when you think that you're in imminent danger. But of course, how likely is it that you need to defend yourself with deadly force when just locking your door is enough, or call the police, or something else? Just talking things over. As he said, at some point in his video, and the reaction is, yeah, we would just ask for more information. As a scientist, we require evidence. Now I'm stuck. I don't understand. I went from being so sure of my actions here, and then suddenly something broke, and then my original triggers are all missing, and everything is blended. Because everything relies on the other discoveries. It must be that it was this way or the other way. And the first one, it became obvious when there was something that could be done to fix whatever this is in my head as like solvable. And now it's the clues are missing. because it's a different discovery, it's a different elimination components. Because originally I was saying 4 couldn't be here. Has to be 9292 and the 2's have to be there. But what if it doesn't have to be like that and it could be in fact something else? That 4 could be there and it could be 2-6 instead of 4-2 or 4-6. I like to lend myself to the idea that conflicts, absolutely, I would invest years of my life resolving a conflict. I recently heard someone say, I will forget, but I will never forgive. So when the next thing happens, I will be on you about it. And I heard someone else say the idea that, oh, I don't want you to bring up the past. Until you fix whatever bullshit that made you betray me in the first place, you don't deserve the right to tell me to not bring up the past. Statute of limitations is not just 1 year or a few months. It's decades. 50 years or something else in certain legal cases. This is not something you just get rid of over the course of months, simply because you're not comfortable with the issue. We've shifted gears onto something a little bit more casual or personal. I don't know. Pick one. But point being that someone mistreated me and it hurts and it's stupid. And I can't imagine why the hell they thought it was okay to do that. And say something as rude as, I don't owe you friendship. And yeah, that still bothers me, you stupid bitch. Of course it bothers me. Why wouldn't it? And when I said you treated me like trash, yeah, you did. You have an issue with me, and then you hear me say that I need you to have some kind of consequence, and all that happens is that I say to one of your friends, go tell them they screwed up, that they hurt me. They shouldn't get away with hurting people. There should be some kind of consequence for that shit. The normal clues are not here. We'll try that 4-2 stuff and see what happens. But that changes the dynamic of 9-2, which changes everything else. That was a random effect I didn't expect. Should I be allowed, should I be forced to let go of something where someone mistreated me? I don't think I should be forced to let go of something when someone mistreated me. They absolutely should instead be forced to make amends for the bullshit they caused. There are too many binaries. I can't quite figure out which one I want to pull. It's too deep. There's too many things. I can't find a solution. I can't find a pattern. I can't find like anything. It's all random. It's all whatever. Nothing makes sense. I do one thing and I do another thing and there's still no evidence for anything concrete, so I just pull and pull and pull and pull until I find myself on some automated path, which is of course wrong, and then I have to pull back and then try doing something else different, see what that leads me to do and find, and if that is the right way, and then I pull back again, see if I have to get a different thread to move in order to make anything work out of any of this. And I'm on the wrong part again, so I have to change it again, and then I have to wonder about 4-2. I genuinely have to wonder about 4-2. I did like so many different binaries. It's stupid. I need an answer. Where is it? I absolutely have no idea where the answer is without pulling something, without assuming something. So if I say 1, that makes 8 and 9 in all those different positions as they are. And then I get no answer. So otherwise I could say 1, 9, 8 and 9 here, and then I get equally nothing significant. Except for this 9 here. Which is not definitive. There's no reason to assume that's the position. Makes no sense. I don't have an answer. That is the 8, however, and this is the 3. After that, I become so absolutely lost in this puzzle. Normally I can find something. This time I'm completely stumped. It doesn't fit. None of the pattern, none of the noise. There's nothing here. Possibly so expertly constructed that it doesn't have an answer that even could converts into binary well. So if I say 3, what does that give me? If I say 7, what does that give me? Well, I'll put the 7 here. And then what? Nothing much. But then there's a 7 on the top and bottom here. And there, it's like... Can't even be sure that this isn't the 7 and that's the 7. And then this would be the 3. This becomes a triple, which then resolves. You can't have 2 and 9 in here. So you remove those, or 5. And you get 6, 4, 6 there. Which also removes 4 from here, and 4, 6. 6, which is a binary, and it doesn't. I don't get enough to resolve anything, except for this is a 5, I guess, in the column. Now, I think that the idea of forgiveness is you have to do what it takes to make amends before forgiveness should apply, or forgetting lone 1 row, lone 1 row, column, one of them, I don't know. And then we have 8, 9, 1, so that's resolved, if this is correct, which I'm not sure of. And we have a triple of the same numbers, so we're on the wrong path. Great, I love that for me. I have no idea where I binaried in the first place. What the hell? What is going on? Starting again. I'm in so much pain. It's not hearsay, to be clear, the stuff with me and Unicorn. It's legitimately complete bullshit what she did. All I said was if it was me, I wouldn't have made the game so difficult on that level of difficulty. So it's already hard on normal, and it was like, it's stupid. It shouldn't be like this. Too damn frustrating. She took it as I'm accusing her of lying about the difficulty. I explained, no, I didn't lie about the difficulty. I didn't accuse her of lying about it. And I tried to be supportive and explain that I just think that it would not have been this hard if I were to design it myself. But her attitude and her behavior was already bullshit. So even though I explained things and I tried to encourage her that I wasn't saying anything about her, I was just saying something about the game, she got worse and worse until it became that she blocked me and stuff, and claimed that I said something of a threatening nature to King, and King absolutely told his parents, who then suggest, well, if this person is saying you should do something violent, you shouldn't be his friend anymore. Instead of, talk to the person that you're accusing of the saying just go do a violent thing of whatever sort. Double check accusations before you make a choice. His parents didn't do shit. They are neglectful idiots. Losers. And I'm sorry that your parents are losers. You don't deserve that. And they don't deserve to be allowed to make that kind of decision on your behalf. And if anyone were to formally accuse someone of saying go do something, they said they went go the past present participle, the tense is confounding me a little bit. Let's put it this way. If someone accused me of murder, I would bitch slap everyone who believes them. Don't fucking even try. I don't care how much evidence there is. Never fucking killed a damn person. Not even close. But if you're going to accuse me of something like that, I have the right to sue you for everything that you have. Defamation and all that shit. You're not allowed to make accusations of that nature. It's not sane to be able to make those kinds of accusations. And yet people allowed that type of thing to happen. It's not as horrific and stupid as accusing me of murder, but it's just as idiotic. It's just as much not true. I don't want violent things to happen to people. I want them to become wise, smart. And if they screw around with people people, if they bully people, if they falsely accuse or start suddenly treating someone as if they're trash, I'll defend them as much as I hope that someone would defend me. Rationally. Being helpless sucks. And I've been on the other side of a legal situation where it was not properly handled, and the people who handled it are stupid and deserve to be fired. Everyone involved, including the judge, reprimanded or fired. I don't give a shit about what you think. You made a stupid call. You fucked up. Lose your job. I don't care if you lose your entire livelihood. Not important to me. You have the duty and responsibility to handle things with a rational head, and you failed. You even heard concerns, and you still failed. And as much as you might think you did the right thing, you still failed. Everyone's a disappointment compared to me. So sad. But true. Too many. How can you be so pessimistic that you think it's okay to allow all sorts of harm and not do something about it? Because there's just not enough evidence. There's just not enough to work with. It could come down to you could make an assessment of the people who are making the accusations and then find out if they're pushing too hard in the wrong direction, how their behaviors are, and perhaps there's something to be considered there. Baseless accusations, false logic leading to irrational action, stupidity, and abuse. Abuse shouldn't be tolerated in any capacity by anyone. And if abuse is concerned and thought of, if someone has blown the whistle about it, anyone involved should speak up and handle it. But no one did. They just sat on their ass and did nothing. And it's been months, and I'm still suffering. And it, of course, pains me to suffer this much. 825 equals not to 825 elsewhere, as is usual. Equals 9. Equals 3 equals 9. Equals 8. 1, 9. Six. 1. There it pops out, not from binary nonsense and guessing to eliminating the noise, correctly handling the elimination of noise, assessing the situation with a firm grip of what is. No confusion there. It just is the process. All truth, if you consider it, could be derived from the process, and that makes it impossible. Not 236 equals not 2 equals not 3 equals 7 equals 1. Similar logic. The method of finding the truth can be absolutely exploited so that it can be undeniable truth. Just as much as the sudoku does not have to be solved with binary. It doesn't have to be solved with guessing and pick a path. It could be solved by just looking at it at 4, 2, 4, 2 equals not 4, 2 elsewhere equals 5 equals 3. It's not saying 4, 2, 4, 2 in the column equals not 4, 2 equals 6 equals not 2 equals 2, 3. 6. 6. 9, 5, 7. Suddenly it's not a mystery anymore. It is found. It is truth. It is undeniable. Plain as the nose in your face. There's no way to go around it. There's no way to ignore it. This is the lone 8 in the column. It can't be anything else. 4, 2, 4, 2 equals 6. So many 4, 2, 4, 2s. It's very fascinating. If 4, 2 and 5, 2, it would make sense that this would be 8 and this would be 3 or something. How can I prove that? Doesn't matter, I'll find something else if I have to. For example, 4, 2, or 7 equals not 4, 2 here. Not 4, 2 there. Equals 5. God, this looks absolutely insane. There's so many 4, 2s. And even now, it's a mystery as to what is the answer to the puzzle. If this is 2, then that is 8, 5, 3, 4. That makes sense. Until you look at the last number and then it's suddenly not that. So therefore this is 4. And there's no other reasoning necessary. And then everything else collapses because nothing else was brought to by pick a path. So everything is what it is. There is no other solution. The truth is self-evident. In reality, truth is not a sudoku. So when it comes down to it, for example, in Klingon culture, if you wouldn't stop someone from taking a necessary risk, if I'm not mistaken, Galaron was making bad choices. Spoilers for Deep Space Nine, by the way. Skip forward like 5 minutes or so. But Galaron dies because Worf decides to challenge him and does the hard choice of kill this stupid bitch because he's just trying to lose wars for the sake of a conflict between him and Martok. How fucking dare you? That, oh, you think that it's not cowardly? You think it's not cowardly to send people into a battle where you know overwhelming odds and correct assessment of the battle scenario means they can't win. There's all this talk about the Alamo, but it's literally, we have the ability to know that the battle is unwinnable, and he's multiple times, for the sake of... And here's the part where it becomes cowardly, because he won't take responsibility for him making the choice of where to send the troops. How it comes about? How capable are they? Were they completely outgunned? Send them into their absolute deaths when it was not necessary is always the general's fault. Or the captain, or whoever the hell was the top person in charge. Not the people leading the warriors into battle. No, the one who made the order in the first place. And if all you're doing is you're doing that to make it seem like the person handling the troops, Martok, is somehow responsible for the fact that it was an unwinnable battle in the first place, and we're just losing a bunch of troops to make him seem like he's not good enough to lead, so that he can get off the council for your own petty reasons. Not because of any valid reasons. He's a good strategist. He's a good soldier. And if you don't listen to him, and if you're trying to just shoot him down because of your own petty reasons, that's you being an asshole. And that's why Worf stuck you in the heart in combat. The hard choice. You have to either detain, or if it comes down to it, in order to handle it, in the Klingon culture, you would absolutely challenge them to a duel where you must fight to the death, because we will challenge your ruling, your logic, your leadership. And if you do not accept this challenge, that it becomes a coward. So to avoid becoming a coward, he accepted the challenge. But the reason he died, instead of killing Worf in the battle, isn't anything to do with whether you have cowardice or whether you have good battle strategy or whatever else. It was a writing ploy. It could have went either way. And if Gowron won that battle and killed Worf or knocked him out or something, made him incapacitated so he can't fight anymore, which is a valid way to, but he would never have done it. He would have absolutely killed Worf. I'm glad they didn't do that. But it is my opinion and my philosophy that the battle, for the sake of everything, shouldn't have been capable of being on that front in the first place. It should have been more obvious or something. Like, it absolutely shouldn't be possible to fight someone to try to prove something, or to stop them from continuing to lead people into battle for no goddamn good reason. Deaths that can be avoided. Losses that can be avoided. And it all comes down to I have no idea. That's the problem. I'm stuck. My brain doesn't compute it. It doesn't work for me. The very concept of the Klingon way of you would have to fight. If it was me, I'm just a person in the other cultures, like literally any other culture, and I don't do combat in order to stop someone from being stupid. But Worf did. Because that was the system in place. And even so, someone willing to die for something they believe in is said to be something that is valuable or whatever. Die for what you believe in. Be willing to. Doesn't matter if it's discomfort. You should be willing to endure it. You challenge Gowron and you lose. Treason? Oh, well, you died. If you challenge someone in the Federation, however, it's not a fight. It's just like medical officer or whatever other thing. The person is assumed to either be of the mental capacity to make choices, or they're taken off command. And then if they fight it, they can be arrested. Captain Picard can absolutely be taken off command. Every commander can be. The choice doesn't have to involve death. How do I eliminate the 6? Six must be here in this row, so it can't be anywhere else in the box. That's how I eliminate it. 85852 equals not 852 elsewhere. Equals 9. 8. 9, 10. Wharf. I witness you risking your life to challenge Galeron. Am I supposed to be disgusted at you or proud of you? Philosophy says I'm supposed to be proud of you. I'm supposed to be glad that you were willing to stand up for what you believe in. Because of course, that is the best thing to do. You stand up for what you believe in, so therefore you must. It's unavoidable. If there was ever an injustice, we fight to stop it. We risk our lives to stop it. Genocide? No, we will fucking help the changelings who trying to kill us. We will help them because by helping them, the innocent ones at least, we can avert war and the loss of life that is otherwise pointless. So of course, wait, what? I shouldn't cheat knowing that there's a 5 there. But what happens if it's 5, if it's not 5, or whatever? How does that play out? I'm curious. Oh, there you go. So it's not 8, it is 5. So that's how a binary found it, but how do I find it elsewise? And I don't know, it doesn't matter. I have the answer, let's just plug it in. I really don't know if I care to find the definitive truths of how to solve it without using pick a path. But I don't care. The answer is there, just use it. And instead of 40 minutes, it took me 9:20 because I had that 5 in my head. But otherwise, what would it have led to elsewise? Let's just put it this way. I tried to encourage you, Mother of Unicorns, to understand that I didn't want any harm to come to you. And the accusation that someone else said about me, their claim was that I said someone should harm you or whatever. I never wanted you to be harmed. So when I tried to explain that, you should have been comforted, but it also means the thing is that it's accusing your friend of exaggerating or lying. But we all know he's capable of that. And it really doesn't matter if I said something. I never did anything. But you don't care. And I also said I don't want any harm to come to you. And that doesn't seem to matter to you. And for some reason, I allowed people to... Listen, the reason why when you suggested me joining your game group and I said no was not my choice. It was never something that I had any control over, because if I was smart and if I was using my own wisdom and logic, I would have let you invite me, and I would have joined. And if you crossed the line again, I would have had a recording of it, and I would have prosecuted you. You see, the people who aren't clever are like, well, don't you allow yourself to be abused again. Don't contact her again. That's you, Lacey. You know fucking who you are. Because here's the thing. It doesn't help to not gather evidence. It just makes it more ambiguity. It just makes it more uncertain. So, there's a red flag, and we're told, just don't even gather any more evidence. Don't invest in maybe the olive branch and say, yeah, of course, I obviously will respect your wishes, not stress you out, and we can play the game totally fine. If I was thinking only with my own logic, I would have said yes. If to either make evidence against you so that it would be obvious for everyone else and I wouldn't be abused and also not have some way to stand up for myself, or I could have just invested good into you so that you wouldn't have any more negativity to hold on to. It would have been erased and we would have been positive again. It could have worked either way, but instead there's this negative and there's no way to cure it except for just don't fucking make an issue for anyone else. So yes, motherfucker, I can play video games. I can play Minecraft, I can play Peak, I can play Repo, I can play freaking Monster Hunter. I can play a lot of games. Phasmophobia. There's a lot of stuff that I can do. And the only reason I don't say I can do it is because this motherfucker's gonna say, well, he mistreated me possibly in the past or whatever thing, and I don't want to be around him. You can go fuck yourself, mother of unicorns. You're a piece of shit, you mother of unicorns. You stupid bitch, mother of unicorns. I would never allow you to be in a live stream again because you mistreated me. You fucking prick. You mistreated me. And no one fucking told you to stop. And some people think it's okay to maybe bring it up later after you let things calm down. No, fuckface. It's not okay to bring it up later after things calm down because you know why? Because later your information could get forgotten or gargled or whatever else, and it doesn't have its consistency, it doesn't have its potentness, it doesn't have the surety of it. When someone has the wrong idea of what the hell I said, like, oh, stop talking to me, it doesn't mean stop talking. It means, and also I said, don't talk to me that way, meaning be respectful. Not saying shut up. I'm saying don't talk to me in a diminutive way. Don't talk to me in a way it's like I don't have rights or deserve to be listened to, and that my concerns don't matter to you. So when I have concerns and it's downgraded, that's fucking bullshit. You absolutely know that you're screwing up, and yet it's in the system to say if there's an issue here happening in the facility, then we will handle it. Oh, if there's other issues and it involves maybe your finances, we'll get involved. But not if it's something involving your emotional state, or someone mistreating you or lying about you, or being mistaken about you. Could you absolutely say that if someone were to accuse me of something horrible, it doesn't really matter if it's your job to fucking defend me? You should have some amount of duty to defend me. As someone that you know something about, you know a bit about what I'm all about, you know how I like to help people, how I want to support their growth and development, how I'm patient with them, how I was willing to deal with you for 3 hours in the Phasmophobia issue, and you didn't freaking listen that time fully. It was not just because of King and what he did. You both were on at me when I was up in that closet in the game, hiding from the ghost. I was freaking out because it was so frustrating, and I had to figure out how to get out of that house. And emotions were high for everyone, and you were all like, why aren't you leaving yet? Because I have to be sure it's not haunting. And if you don't value my emotional state at that point, that's because you're stupid. Heartless. Both of you. Both Mother of Unicorns and King. You both fucked up with my emotional state. And that's why we had to talk for 3 hours. Because it's not just that. It's that, oh, well, we want to have it so that before we leave, make sure that I have something written down. Because if I miss out, because I didn't write it down, I don't get the money for it. And it's up to you to stop, make sure that I have it written down, make sure it's confirmed, so that we can do, and you learned to do that. You became more considerate, more thoughtful of the situation, that you need to make sure I have it written down. Confirm it before you leave. That's all. It takes no time. There is no time pressure whatsoever to confirm it. If I'm dead, I just have to have it written down. You're the one in control. You're safe in the van. Why can't you just ask? And then you did, and then you were better. So I had faith in you. And sometimes we would just play Minecraft. We would do all sorts of things. And we would defend the base by trying to make sure that the creepers wouldn't blow up anything near the house. And if they were, I would contribute and my time and effort to make sure I repair anything so that the creeper can't get into the house again or whatever else, or cause any further damage. Lead it over to the ocean. We protected each other. And you don't owe me friendship? I'm sorry. Comrade. You don't owe me anything? You scumbag? Yeah, that's what I think about you. You're the one who fucked me over. You're the one who freaked out on me randomly for no reason, for nothing. And I don't really... Here's the thing. I have no clue why. I don't know why you caused that issue back then. I know that in Sons of the Forest, when we had the issue in December, it was fucking stupid, because absolutely it was stupid. The least we can do is run this, because it's going to be needing to run anyway. So I can generate some stuff, so I can have money, so I can upgrades. Why not? In Sons of the Forest, we were constantly dying because we had to be led from the... Now, if we looked it up, apparently there's a way to avoid... You just have to wait there, wait for them to leave, and then you can escape. And on your own, that can be easy if you know what you're doing. You don't just leave immediately because they're still around. Wait for them to leave first. Or something. I don't actually know. But it could have been understood, it could have been known, and we wouldn't have to struggle for any of this. It's just something that we had to learn and figure out. And it's pointless to get stupid frustrated, and then also, while you're frustrated, make some issue about it with other people that you then make it possible so that you would block the person and stop being friends with them anymore. I don't give a shit what kind of emotional state and what kind of bullshit that we both experienced. It was a negative thing that was mostly brought on by the video game being frustrating. You're dying as well? Well, he goes and helps you. I'm dying as well? He comes and helps me. And I was like, yeah, we're going to make it to the house. We're going to be fine. We'll get through this. And then we will make a house nowhere near where those freaks are. We'll make sure that we work towards getting the armor that we need to do in order to not do something stupid. Like be vulnerable. So we can fight back. We would barely be fighting anything if we chose the correct place to live. And I knew that. I knew that there was a better place that we could be living. Nowhere near their fucking base. You find a base, you go somewhere far away from there. And that's where you make your place to live. It's not foolproof, but it's a lot smarter than the shit you were doing. I don't give a shit how frustrated people can get during the game. That's just a game. It doesn't matter. We're all frustrated. We're all capable of possibly yelling. Guess what? Your idea of not yelling, otherwise yelling is a form of abuse. Your husband yelled at me. He abused me according to your rules. What did I do? I waited until you were gone. Because Damien and I don't have that kind of situation. And I explained to him exactly how frustrated I was. And I yelled, frustrated, not at him, but about the situation. And I don't need her being degraded and saying I fucking yelled at her. I never fucking yelled at her when it was in the call. I didn't. And it's all this time since then, she accused me of yelling at her when it was her husband who yelled at me. And she accused me of accusing her of lying about the level of difficulty of the game. That's a stupid, tiny little bullshit thing to be bothered about. And I didn't even accuse her about lying about the difficulty of the game. So that's multiple false accusations that were left unchecked. And the idiot at the freaking whatever else, and whoever else, and people who are saying maybe call the cops on her. There's nothing to call the cops about, you fucking idiot. Workers? Social workers? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't know how to handle situations. You are a freaking adult. And I have worse advice from you. And I have worse advice from these other people. No, you're supposed to listen to me. You freaking try listening to me, listening with my logic. Because guess what? This was supposed to be nothing. I try to explain. I don't want anything to happen to her. Why the fuck did he even say that? It's bullshit. His fucking parents don't ask me about what the fuck actually happened. His parents are stupid. And they're adults. We're not talking about kids here. We're talking about adults being stupid. We're talking about social workers being stupid. We're talking about people who aren't even on the spectrum being stupid. Using bad logic. Giving bad advice. Stuff that I could sue them for. Stuff I should have some ability to defend myself about, but I can't do anything. Because it doesn't matter. You don't care. You won't try to make sure that you're doing the correct thing. You're just impulsive. Saying that to the workers, saying that to the adults involved. The ones who should have their heads screwed on straight, but it's not fucking true. They're not screwed on straight. They have time to think about these things. They're not pressured with frustrations about the current situation or whatever other thing. They just are like, well, we don't know what the fuck to do. And I'm like, you have training. The least that you can do is you can say, yeah, he doesn't deserve to be treated this badly. And you basically said that. But then when it was brought up to be joining Mother of Unicorn's gaming thing, I mentioned it. It was everywhere. Everyone could understand it. And I was like, well, listen, I just don't want to be hurt again. And that's your prerogative and stuff. You don't understand. You're the one who actually hurt me, Mother of Unicorns. So what do we do? How do we solve this? Well, here's how this works. What the fuck is that? Why is there an advertisement just randomly in the middle of the gameplay? I didn't press for that to happen. You've got to be fucking kidding me. No, I don't want to play this stupid game. What the hell is this? Listen. Why can't I fuse them together? I was mistreated. Idiots gave the wrong advice. And if I did, guess what? That means you're wasting cops' time, your other things, and whatever else. No, we have people who are workers who are capable of bringing their rational, sober thoughts into the situation. And guess what? I was freaking sober. Don't know what the hell she was doing. Not gonna talk about that as a possibility or be disparaging about anything about her. I don't fucking want to deal with this. What I want listen, if you wanted to have me join your game thing, if you're going to invite me, my standard is that you listen to my concerns. If you're not going to heed my concerns, I will simply avoid you. But I'm going to play with the other people. I'm going to say, I have the ability to play video games. We can have a great time. And it doesn't matter if she wants to join when I join. She's an asshole who can mistreat me. Sometimes. Not all the times. She is welcome to be there. She's going to be respectful. That's how it works. And I'm welcome to be there if she's willing to be respectful. If I'm willing to be respectful. It can all work out. I didn't know that it had automated ads. That's kind of bullshit. So one of the things I did was I went up here, I pulled something else to that position, and then I was able to get it out and whatever. I was able to get like this one out, fuse that together. I remember I was able to get the door to do something else, and I missed out on the door situation or whatever else, I don't know. Doesn't matter, it's a stupid game. Listen. If you're going to be talking rudely and you're going to exaggerate about things, if you're going to make things worse than it actually is, there's only so much that I can do for you. I literally can't just let you be around and then say that I'm capable of doing something that I didn't do. You can't even say that I'm capable of doing that because that's not something I tolerate people just saying. You're going to talk like that, you're going to be gone. I'll have other people be the people I collaborate with. I don't need your bullshit. No one else needs it either. We deserve better. We deserve better. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work either. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyone gonna accuse me of something I didn't do, you're gonna get told. That's the extent of it. And I don't allow you to be around my friends, and I don't allow you to be in my live stream, and I don't allow you to be in my company. I'm not going to your house. I'm not trusting you. That's just how it is. If you're going to be a piece of shit, you don't deserve to be trusted. But if you're going to be rational, then I can trust you. And we can have good experiences together where we play games and be cooperative and help each other be able to defend the porch or whatever is going on with stuff. It's not hard. I'm not unreasonable. But if you're going to be a piece of shit, basically, I don't have to keep you around. That's all of it. And I would hope that you would listen one day and understand. Your thoughts about how I was back then were completely exaggerated, and you were a piece of shit treating me badly and lying and allowing other people to lie and allowing them to think so much negativity that had no basis in reality. You were dumb and unreasonably hurtful for prolonged periods of time there's no reason to be like that, especially freaking during Christmas. What the hell's wrong with you? But you were capable of that. No generosity during Christmas, even though I said no. Didn't say anything negative about you in that Sons of the Forest game. I didn't say don't talk. I said don't talk to me that way. Be respectful. I didn't say hurt her. I said there should be some kind of punishment for being abusive. Like, you shouldn't want to be her friend for like a week. Because betraying someone that you care about should fucking have some consequences. She gets put in the doghouse by King. If he had any amount of loyalty to her, he would have kept her from being able to be abusive. But he didn't. It's stupid. That shouldn't be possible. People should be held to a better standard than that. No, for fuck's sakes. The point is to get rid of the use and then fill it with the magic. Because I don't freaking need to use food if I get to use this instead. Although that was a waste of it. Whatever. Recently, one of the pricks in my past life, someone who played Stardew Valley with me, got to be around me again. They don't even remember the bullshit that they did. And the bullshit about the past, about me and whatever. Their false reasonings or whatever else. So, do I risk being hurt again? Or do I hope that they're going to be good and I don't have to be worried? Well, there's no assurances that if they don't end up remembering the bullshit, or whatever, if they remember that they could end up being good, it's more possible that they're going to still be bad because they haven't had that logic corrected in their brain about what happened in the first place. We played Stardew Valley. All that I remember was you forced me to pretend to take the role of your character's husband in the game. And I made the observation that you were selling this food, and you shouldn't have been selling the food that was raw. You should have sold it after processing it. You wanted money now. I wanted big money for us. That would take less time to make if you just put it in the processors. Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh shit. I think I screwed up. I can't do that because the friggin' stupid demo doesn't even let me make the choices or whatever. I swear, I was going to get food from sacrifices, and it didn't actually do it. I'm pissed off about that. What do you mean? We have 34 meat. Why is it saying 6? Oh, it just now processed. Freaking annoying bullshit. Look, I don't know what the hell was the reason for you treating me bad and going away or whatever the hell you did. It was dumb. Frankly, I don't even give a shit. If you ever want to play Stardew Valley again, you're welcome to play. I don't even know what the hell was going on back then. It was stupid. No, I don't have money. Yet. The hell? Well, that's not... I don't care. It doesn't matter. I just need to compress things so that when it's done, it doesn't... take up a lot of space or whatever. Well, that one I do need to be on the top. I need to make sure it happens. Happens. No, I think that, that other lady is fine. But it's like, there we go. Okay. Trying to get the thing out. Tall guy stuck in there. Doesn't matter. I need the goat. Yeah, no, I don't consider myself of making amends with that person yet, because whatever the hell thing back then and the whatever is not resolved. I don't know what it is. I can't even explain it very much at all. I just know that it was dumb, and it was mostly I made her look stupid or feel stupid because of the mishandling of the food. You could have had the food be better, worth more, and whatever. Would have been more simple, would have been handled nice, and we would have not had to spend so much. Like the problem is it takes a while to make that happen. And whatever. I think I literally paid for no ads, and it does auto ads anyway. I think that's illegal. You're not supposed to be able to do automatic ads. After I already paid for no ads. I already paid for it. Why the hell is that happening? Isn't there some law against forcing ads on someone after you already paid for no ads? There should be a law about that. I end up wondering, like, if you bring up something from the past, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think some people say if you don't learn from the past, you're destined to repeat it. So both truths are possible, apparently. And it's irrelevant. My personal belief and full understanding is that if you have something to resolve before you go and do other things, like it's even said in the Bible, like if you got something against your brother, don't bring your offering, you dumb shit. No one wants your offering if you're going to have an issue with your brother. Instead, deal with the issue with your brother, then bring your offering. It's that basic logic that does exist in people that you should absolutely understand and adhere to, and you're somehow failing to do that. It's like, oh, you're willing to go and play the game anyway, even though you haven't dealt with the issue with your friend. You haven't dealt with the issue with me about how you mistreated me, how I feel mistreated. Not just feel, but was mistreated. And that your accusations are baseless, and you shouldn't have those kinds of emotions about me because I'm not a piece of shit person. Like, if you have that kind of feeling against someone like my boss's mom or something, the boss would be like, oh, fuck you. You're not allowed to think about that about them because they are the salt of the earth. You're not allowed to have those thoughts. You can't be irrational about people we care about, people we know to be good. If only I had people who actually believed in me enough that they would defend me. That'd be great. It would be nice to be defended. But people say, oh, we're not going to get involved. And I don't think that you have the right to say that you're not getting involved. You are either helping the situation get better, or you're helping it remain bad. You are involved. And I don't care what you think, you are involved. So if you don't think you're involved, and somehow that makes it think that it's okay to do nothing, just understand your inaction is involvement, is making things worse, or not allowing the potential of good, or whatever. So everyone should have the idea that they have duty towards each other. Not end up doing nothing because, oh, it's not part of my whatever. You're involved whether you like it or not, whether you want it or not. I chose the wrong sword again. I wonder how much health I even have. It's like with Doctor Who. You might not want to use a gun, but sometimes you have to use a gun. Not because you have to shoot someone, but because you have to destroy something, or because, like in the case, it had to be like destroying a crystal or whatever. Spoilers for Doctor Who. He did use a gun. I do not want movement speed. Yeah, like sometimes I get lots of kills, so it's like, why would I not want the one that gives me kills equals health? Except for there is also health over time and stuff. It's simple. That was disgusting. Yay. More laser. My bow! I try to think of the philosophies of things, and it's like, yeah, we absolutely would fight for things we believe in, the understanding that we shouldn't allow things to just be letting happen, and then we should fight for what we are knowing to be true, not just let things happen. So I struggle with this because I want to know, what should I do about my own life? I don't know. The problem is, in all those other scenarios where you're able to do something about something, like war, or in the case of TV shows and movies, there's this idea that there is something that can be done, and that you absolutely should never give up and let something happen. But that's when they have the capacity of the change and the good that could fix it. It was there, it was possible. I don't think it's there here. I don't think we're in that world where you have the ability to speak up and expect good to happen or change to happen. I think this world is stupid, and it leaves people powerless. Too much. Pointlessly powerless. Shouldn't be that way. That's a lot of lasers. I don't think people should feel powerless. My boo is hurt on the other side of the wall. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Yay. Ugh. Why not?
So in this game, you aren't.
This is a war that cannot be stopped.
Battery's dying, goodbye.